Hello, welcome to Your Majesty's Marvelous Memes. Today's program is a special one, as we're going to recount the year's best and worst memes. Please keep in mind that harassing anyone featured here today, even if I lampoon them, is punts, and you should feel punts for doing so. Shall we begin? Indeed! 10th best, Cursed Woody. On October 22nd, YouTuber Aaron Fraser Nash uploaded a video titled Cursed Woody Sings a Song. Besides the blatantly AI-generated imagery and extensive use of Premiere Pro plugins, this is your run-of-the-mill, dark take on an established IP. Nonetheless, the lyrics are decently written, until the chorus.
Calm down, Woody. We're your friends.
Shut up, Buzz. I'll kill you.
Sorry, pal, but can we make amends?
Shut up, Slink. I'm gonna kill you.
Why can't we just talk it out?
Not this time, Bo.
Woody, oh Woody, where have you been?
Too late, Andy. I'm killing you slow.
This bonkers chorus gained a lot of attention for its terrible songwriting and unintentional hilarity. A 9-year-old parodied it.
Calm down, Woody. Where are your sigmas? Shut up, Buzz. I'll riz you. Sorry, Duke, but can we make amends? Shut up, Slink. I'm gonna riz you.
Buzz is unnecessarily rude in this one.
Off, Woody.
And there's also whatever this is.
I'll kill you. 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 I'll kill you.
10th worst, Twitter rebrand. As you'll see, many of 2023's most doltish memes stem from the news. In July, Elon Musk renamed Twitter to X and changed its logo from the famous blue bird to, the letter X. It was then that Twitter's funny men chimed in with their oh-so-clever sex jokes. Imagine explaining to your wife that you watched some X videos today. Please, Elon, don't change the logo to X, I beg of you. I should probably rearrange my apps before the logo changes. God damn it. Get it, guys? X is commonly used for pornography-related content. Do you get it? Do you get it? Do you get it? 9th best. Do you love me? Do you need me? I can't find the words to describe this meme or explain its appeal, so here's an example of it.
Do you love me? Do you need me?
That's the entire idea. Each version of this meme is near identical in content except for the person featured. Here's one with King Charles III, here's one with the Lorax, here's another one with Obama, here's one more with the Lorax, and here's one with Darman. Why do I find these funny? I don't know. 9th worst, sandwiches at a cheap price satisfactory. SpongeBob has been the source of innumerable memes for 2 decades, and this is no different. Originally a one-off joke about the hood, people took the original and simply changed the price and Patrick's reaction. $0 footlong. Free sandwiches? Suspicious, yet satisfactory. $27x footlong. Sandwiches at a price dependent on the variable's value? Preposterous. All of $0 footlong. Sandwiches at an infinite yet well-ordered price? Cardinal. I get that these blokes have strong opinions on the cost of 0.3048 meter long sarnies, but I don't want to hear about it for the rest of my life. At the least, I can understand the appeal of this meme, something which cannot be said for the upcoming entries in the worst list. 8th best, staring Avatar guy. On December 16th, 2022, Avatar: The Way of Water was released. It soon became the 3rd highest grossing movie of all time before everyone forgot about its existence. At one point in the film, this humorous frame appears. It's quite jokes, I do say. All of that to say, these memes are just father jokes. That's what we call dad jokes here in England. Bird flu? Yeah, they do that. Banana bread? No. Banana fruit.
Wood-fired pizza? How will pizza get a job now?
SeaWorld? Yeah, I have eyes. Sometimes venerable universities are dandy. That's how we say old school is cool over here. 8th worst, I Am a Surgeon. The Good Doctor is a ranked show that has about as good an understanding of autism as Donald Trump.
Autism has become an epidemic. You take this little beautiful baby and you pump. I mean, it looks just like it's meant for a horse, not for a child.
Anyways, at one point in the 17th episode of the program's 2nd season, this incredulous exchange takes place.
I am a surgeon!
I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! I am a surgeon! Dr. Han, I am a surgeon!
Most of the memes around this clip look something like this, altering the scene with basic filters and annoying slang slapped on top. There were also 2 separate marine-themed animations of surprising quality using the meme's audio, and although both these lads have talent, I'd rather they spend it on higher art such as Shakespearean plays or Septiplier Empreg fanfiction. The real reason I hate this meme is because some people began saying it in real life, a truly loathsome endeavor. Similar to current events, you'll soon find that phrasal memes are truly dreadful. 7th best, it's Jova and we're Barack. Honestly, there's not much to this meme. It's an image of a sullen Joe Biden with the phrase, "It's Jova" overlaid. But its simplicity is also its strength. It's the perfect reaction image for any vaguely negative situation. The counterpart, we're Barack, is just as basic and useful as the original. Over the past year, these phrases have become so ingrained in my brain that I now use them in real life. And I know what you're thinking. Didn't you just say that IRL usage of memes is dreadful? Well, when I do it, it's mint, and when you do it, it's naff. Moving on. 7th worst, Chinese spy balloon. As I'm sure many of you remember, a Chinese surveillance balloon flew over the US in early February, spawning a media sensation. The jokes that followed were predictably predictable. What if the payload was Chinese food? What about an American spy balloon? I'm bad at political humor. Racism is funny. This guy's a Mississippi state senator, by the way. And of course, the most expected meme of them all, a balloons tower defense meme. Hi Daniel, I know you're watching this. 6th best, Atlas Earth. Before Facebook's market cap fell from 1 trillion to 240 billion in just over a year, some people actually took the metaverse seriously. This includes Atlas Reality, a self-described mobile games technology company focused on redefining the location-based game industry. Their LinkedIn page is fantastic, it's so self-aggrandizing. Our mission is to merge interactions between the physical and digital worlds like never before. We believe the next metaverse is the one built on top of the real world. In 2021, they released a game called Atlas Earth, a stupid virtual real estate game that advertises large payouts. Sometime soon after, Atlas Reality published this awe-inspiring ad for the game.
Now I'm getting paid cash with Atlas Earth. We got virtual land all across the globe. The next wave is digital, catch me on the way up. The glow up is visible, couple more. Watch mine gon' go up, it's about to go nuts. It's about to go nuts. Now I'm getting paid rent in cash with Atlas Earth. Atlas Earth. Atlas Earth.
If this video was the entire meme, it would still make the list. When I first saw it, I laughed so hard I couldn't breathe. Lucky for us, there's more Atlas Earth content out there. Me magically summoning 110,920 unnamed plots of land in the metaverse to pay rent in cash. My land in the metaverse! When your friend tells you to get ready to... You like getting paid rent in cash with Atlas Earth, don't you? There's also this creepy version. Eek! How frightening! It's best we continue before I get nightmares. 6th worst, Pizza Tower. Early in the year, the indie platformer game Pizza Tower was released to critical acclaim after nearly 5 years of development. Despite its minuscule hype, the game was extremely successful. This had the unintended side effect of creating a painfully unfunny community with horrible memes. Yeah, you heard me right, Pizza Tower fanbase. I'm calling you out. Meet me at Manchester Town Hall on Thursday so we can duke it out like real miles. That's what we call men here in England. Anyways, I'll stick to showcasing the 2 biggest memes stemming from this game. The first is Lario, which began with a TikTok slideshow solely consisting of this frame from one of the game's loading screens with the word Lario written on top, set to a mashup of Sneaky Snitch and Superstar. If that sentence made complete sense to you, you spend too much time on the internet. And that's about it. If you didn't think this image was funny the first time around, God knows you didn't by the millionth time. The second meme is Hey Italian Man. I really don't want to talk about this one, so I'll make it quick. In April of 2023, YouTuber Lion SPD uploaded this video of characters from Pizza Tower screaming after seeing the word boo.
Hey Italian Man! Huh?
This goes on for 30 seconds. People then added onto this video by changing what the characters are reacting to. Wow, how humorous. Fifth best, Skibbity Toilet. You've probably seen or at least heard of this meme, but for the uninitiated, it's a video series that follows a war between toilets with human heads poking out called Skibbity Toilets and people with cameras for heads known as cameramen.
My style is ridiculous.
At this point, Skibbity Toilet can barely be called a meme. It's transformed into a cultural icon of the contemporary internet and Generation Alpha. The series has even wormed its way into the Washington Post in an article full of comments complaining about kids these days or asserting that we're in the end times. Not only is Skibbity Toilet surprisingly gripping, it fondly reminds me of older internet phenomena that were similarly weird, and the fact that a dinky, zero-budget web show entirely created by one guy can become so popular is legitimately inspiring. Sorry, I meant to say most normal toilet in Ohio! Fifth worst. Crazy, I was crazy once. Let's turn the clock all the way back to 2002. On the obscure forum everything2.com, user 3sons uploads this verse of an annoying song they made up. However, it only blew up in the year of our Lord, who instills the British monarch with the divine right to rule over our kingdom, 2023. I heard this meme in real life more than any other over the past 12 months, and by Jove did it get really tiring really quick. For a few months, all of these words were unusable lest you hear this bull repeated for the billionth time. That's all I have to say about this one, really. Fourth best, absurd Wojaks. Wojaks are very simple drawings of people that date back to 2009 and have been an internet staple ever since. Over the years, they have been used to represent a wide variety of important people, political positions, stereotypes, and everything in between. Recently, this meme has devolved into an arms race to create the most ridiculous, nonsensical of all time, and I wholeheartedly welcome it. I hate suicide! Kind of obsessed with these AI-generated Wojaks. They express a level of anguish that I don't think the normal ones are capable of conveying. I love Fruitiger Arrow. Girls with the time machine.
I am your granddaughter.
Really? Boys with the time machine.
I gotta kill you so the monstrosities next to me don't exist.
It's okay. I understand.
Oh my god.
Me.
Has anyone seen my uncanny Mr. Incredible? I swear I locked it up on this Mr. Incredible rack before I went inside.
Conspicuously uncanny Mr. Incredible shaped throat jack.
Nope, uncanny Mr. Incredible. I've seen none around here lately, and certainly none that looks mighty appetizing. No siree.
There's even mind-numbing Wojak-themed kids content.
One yellow bug.
And who can forget the stuff that's made by people who are clearly stuck in insane asylums? Fourth worst, Grimace Shake. This is where we go from bad to rubbish. On June 12th, McDonald's introduced their limited release Grimace Shake to American franchises in order to celebrate Grimace's 52nd birthday. For those unaware, Grimace is one of the restaurant's vintage commercial characters akin to the Hamburglar or Mayor McCheese. Soon after the promotion began, TikTokers began posting videos in which they take a sip of the drink and are then seen lying dead on the floor. Digital artists pitched in too, continuing the trend with drawn characters instead of real people. Of course, some wankers thought they were clever and made the same joke except nothing happens? What? I hate this meme so much because it screams AstroTurf. The entire thing revolves around a f***ing McDonald's promotion for Elizabeth's sake. McDonald's asserts that they didn't create the meme, and although I believe that is the case, it sure as hell feels like something this stock photo would come up with in order to boost quarterly sales. On that note, this stock photo represents how I feel about Americans' pitiable culture. Bollocks. Third best, Donald Trump mugshot. On August 14th, Trump was indicted on 13 racketeering-related charges. 10 days later, he surrendered himself to Fulton County Jail in Atlanta, Georgia to be booked and processed. It was then that the jail authorities made the legendary decision to take a mugshot of the former president and release it to the press. Almost immediately after its publication, the internet was flooded with memes and edits of this image, both due to its unprecedented nature and Trump's soul-piercing stare.
The Kubrick stare is one of Stanley Kubrick's most recognizable directorial techniques, a method of shot composition where a character stares at the camera with a forward tilt to convey to the audience that the character in question is at the peak of their derangement. Ever dream this man? Every night, all over the world, hundreds of people see this face in their dreams. If this man appears in your dreams too, or if you have any information that can help us identify him, please contact us.
Trump Wojak.
To the roar.
When the gas station is out of Pall Mall menthol lights. And my favorite of them all, this smashing collage of 241 Donald Trumps. Yes, I counted. The chap's alleged crimes may be many, but his photo will forever live on in my heart. Third worst, Titan incident. I'm gonna speed through the actual memes about this incident because there's a bigger point I want to make here. On June 18th, the Titan submersible set off on its 11th voyage to explore the Titanic shipwreck. Shortly into the expedition, the vessel lost connection to the mainland, spurring an international search and rescue operation. A few days later, the submersible imploded, instantly killing all 5 passengers on board. It's easy to see why jokes and news of the tragedy were abound. These men paid to see what remains of the Titanic, but ended up in their own maritime disaster, and Titan itself was dinky and jerry-rigged as all hell. These memes grew really old really quick. Instead, I want to focus on the gross attitudes that many harbored towards the victims of the incident. Mockery of the passengers was all over the place, especially from leftists whose entire ideology boils down to these 3 phrases. Some people called out these men for choosing to go on an obviously risky expedition, but as mentioned before, the same submersible had previously gone on numerous voyages where no one was harmed. Besides, simply because one takes risks does not mean they deserve death. However, most mock the victims due to their large fortunes. Look, I understand that this event got much more coverage than it should have, and humans are biased to show less empathy towards those who are somehow different than themselves, in this case, a wealth difference. However, wealth, even in vast amounts, is not an indictment of one's personal character, and the widespread characterization of these 5 men as billionaires is incorrect. Only 2 of them were billionaires, not to mention that one of them was 19 years old. What I'm trying to say is, bug off. Second best, boy kisser. This one will be controversial, but I must speak my truth. I'll be the first to admit that I am very biased with this placement. In late January, I uploaded a video on this meme to my second channel, and it got 300,000 views in 107 days. # humble brag. These memes take the form of GIFs usually spread via Discord, utilizing drawings of a white cat typically captioned with homosexual sentiments. Although I included a message about harassment at the beginning of this program, I specifically asked that you don't harass the artist behind the original GIF, as she has already received a torrent of abuse over it. Considering how popular my first video about this meme was, I think it's time for a sequel. This is how you look seeing, boys. You had unrestricted access to the internet as a child, didn't you? You like kissing boys, don't you? Pipe bomb! This is how you look when I drop an anvil on you. You're a hollow shell of the person you used to be, aren't you? Ugh, you like pulling all-nighters, don't you? I love staring at gay people. Simply put, the cat is paying and the captions are divvy. What more can you ask for? Second worst, Axel in Harlem. I'll have to touch on some inappropriate topics in order to cover this one, so if you don't want to hear that, skip to this timestamp. One of my least favorite aspects of the contemporary internet is the prevalence of porn equals funny memes, and this is no different. In the original video, this man and his level 7 Gaia are pursued by 3 other guys on the streets of Harlem. Some people recreated a scene from the animation using famous characters, while others opted to draw still images. I have nothing else to add for this meme. It's painfully unfunny, became way too popular, and has no place in civilized society. Before I reveal the top spots, it's time for some honorable mentions. The Whale's Only Frame. The Whale is a 2022 indie film about an obese recluse whose promotional material oddly tended to reuse this specific frame ad nauseum. Memes pointing out this oddity sprung up in 2023. The Whale, frame 1 out of 1. I got jump scared so hard by this when I saw this while I was on a date. Guys, I'm really worried. I was watching The Whale on my TV and the movie just froze on Brendan Fraser's face. I tried fixing it, but nothing's worked. It's been 2 hours and I think he's burned onto the screen. This is a $1,000 TV and my parents are almost home. If you get this reference, I love you. Next, there's Bear 5. Ever wondered what would happen if you combine the blue-tinted Freddy Fazbear with the world's most potent hallucinogens? This. And for my last honorable mention... Okay, I promise both number 1 picks are coming up soon, but we still have dishonorable mentions left. Chinese panda reaction images. These fellas, known in China as Baoqing Panda, have been a staple of Chinese meme culture since the early 2010s. Only recently did they cross over to the English-speaking world and become reaction images. While I don't have anything against the pandas, on a fundamental level, I simply don't get the joke, and repeatedly seeing them got a bit annoying. Second up, Sisyphus. Sometime in mid-2023, videos of Sisyphean and tasks, typically accompanied by this image and the song Me and the Birds, blew up. This joke had me zonked after the first few times I'd seen it, and the song is straight grating. Lastly, AI Pixar. Near the end of the year, AI-generated parodies of Pixar movie posters cropped up everywhere. Let's just say, they weren't particularly witty. Tired, edgy joke. Tired, edgy joke. Tired, edgy joke. Tragedy, tragedy, tragedy. Incels, incels, incels. Pornography, 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 pornography. Thinly veiled racism, thinly veiled racism, thinly veiled anti-Semitism, thinly veiled racism and anti-Semitism. Shock video, shock video. Shock video, shock video, shock video. Admittedly, this is a really good pun. The best meme is TikTok brain rot. As the months passed, the slang and memes of late 2022 and early 2023 grew tiresome. I can personally attest to this. It was common to hear people around my age say Riz or make Ohio jokes unironically early on in the year, but their tunes slowly changed. Serious usage of these memes morphed into mockery that spanned the entire year, and I loved every second of it. What the Riz is wrong with you, my bruh? This does not the Ohio. She said, do you riz me? I told her in Ohio, I only love my yacht and my chungus, I'm sorry. Rizzing the Ohio yacht with a grimace shake. When you rizz up the level 3 yacht Duke Dennis style while getting sturdy like Tyson Nat on a grimace shake, hitting the gritty the Aki way in Ohio with maximum prestige riz while looks maxing and mewing. Needless to say, I play guard 10. She was a band nevertheless. Calling it riz now, baby Unca dance. Crash at back rooms, baby I'm a wreck.
Don't riz me. Don't come by Ohio. We're done.
He ruined my goon journal. I did yacht. Mr. Rizletric, send him to the Skibbity's office and have him Ohio'd.
Let me guess, Tiny, a small salad?
I'll have an Ohio Huggy Wuggy Deluxe on a Riz. Nathaniel B, the Aki way. Biggest bird with a pity and a Sin City, light skin stare, make it Jumbo Josh, pizza tower it, and let it gritty.
Baby Gronk rizzed up, Livy Dunn, Kai Sinat Twitchstream W.
Skibbity Toilet has W Riz on TV Woman in real life.
Level 5 Gyat only in Ohio Grimace Shake Challenge.
I'd love to end it on that note, but there's still one entry left on the worst list. One, two. Buckle my shoe. Never have I felt so much vitriol for one meme. It all started during the late 18th century in New England as an innocuous counting song. Everything was fine and dandy for around 240 years until April 14th, 2023, when TikToker Edmund X uploads this abomination.
Oh, bro, come over here. Check out my new shoes. They're the brand new
1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, buckle some more. 5, 6, Nike kicks.
Oh, that is so fire!
You might be thinking, oh, that's not so bad, and you'd be right. On first viewing, it's not too shabby, but after days, weeks, months of exposure to this meme, oftentimes in real life.
Oh, bro, come over here. Check out my new shoes. They're the brand new
1, 2, buckle my shoe. 3, 4, buckle some more. 5, 6, Nike kicks.
I don't think I can control myself.
1, 2, buckle my shoe represents the worst of 2023's memes. It's insanely repetitive, annoying, utterly devoid of creativity, and inescapable even if you don't use TikTok or failing that aren't caught up on memes at all. If only you were still with us, Lizzie. Shlant, my dear subject, I hear you please. Elizabeth, is that really you? Indeed it is. Sir, have you ever stopped to wonder why the year's memes were so pish? No, I guess I haven't. During my rule, I bestowed all memes with royal divinity in order to best please my subjects and all other citizens of the planet alike. After my death, the meme world fell into decay. My lord, I never thought of it that way. Is there any way we can restore memes to their former glory? There is. However, that is for another time. You still have an outro left to make after all. Toodaloo! Although I'm of the persuasion that 2023 was a bad year for memes writ large, there were still many diamonds in the rough, and brilliant ones at that. I hope you enjoyed this expedition through the internet's humor of the past 12 months. Bye bye, Wolfriend Pack Amigo thingies!